Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. Today is Friday, guys, and it's our last episode of the week. And today, before letting you go and eat something delicious and really hopefully nutritious, today we are talking about another group of essential fatty acids that are a bit complicated, just like omega-3 fatty acids that have 3 different varieties that we seem to need all of them. Like with omega-6 fatty acids that in today's nutrition world, a lot of times are labeled bad or, pro-inflammatory. And they are pro-inflammatory, but some level of inflammation, and specifically inflammation on demand, we actually need in our body. So omega-6 fatty acids, they are essential, meaning when we are not getting them, we are in trouble. We cannot produce them, but we need them. And what can happen if we aren't getting those omega-6 fatty acids in a specific form that we human beings need to use? So we can experience itchy, scaly skin, or we can have dandruff, or we can have our hair falling out, or we can have low sex hormones and sex drive, and we can have blunted, meaning less of stress response, even though more might be needed in males, and exaggerated stress response or different allergies and sensitivities in females. Also, omega-6 fatty acids help our cell membranes to stay fluid and cooperate with each other to perform certain functions, or also to keep stuff in, like, for example, to keep our skin cells whole and intact, and letting certain stuff out and letting certain stuff in, like moisture or certain different chemicals or substances that our skin cells need to stay in order for us to have that smooth skin. We also need omega-6 fatty acids to have our stomach lining strong and to prevent ulcers. Also, omega-6 fatty acids help to teach our immune system to tolerate things instead of overreacting to them, meaning not reacting to completely normal foods with allergies or sensitivities. So we need omega-6s for that. They're not all that bad. We also need omega-6s to create inflammation, to fight infections in our body, and also to stop that inflammation once that infection is gone, instead of having that silent low levels of chronic inflammation that is killing people, that is actually killing people. We also need omega-6 fatty acids to decrease anxiety and increase confidence, helping us reach out of our comfort zone to do things, to grow. So as you can see, omega-6 fatty acids, they are important. And there are 2 kinds of omega-6 fatty acids: plant form, that is linoleic acid, and animal form, that is arachidonic acid. And we need the animal form in our body. We need to use that. But we can convert plant omega-6 fatty acid, linoleic acid, into animal form that we actually need to use in our body. But conversion, guys, can be hurt by different health conditions. So let me find to you exactly. Like, poor conversion can be caused by genetics, it can be caused by diabetes, by insulin resistance, by inadequate protein, calories, and carbohydrates, guys, by inadequate biotin and B6, because actually biotin, that is another B vitamin, and B6, we need those to convert plant form of omega-6 into animal form of omega-6. Also, if we are lacking calcium or zinc, if we're eating too much processed sugar or too much processed food in general, with bad oils, with unnatural oils, with oils that were hydrogenated and otherwise refined or oxidized, so all of that can hurt the conversion. Now, when it comes to foods that contain omega-6 fatty acids, plant form, the richest source is sunflower oil, and sunflower seeds. I always recommend to go with whole foods, because those whole foods, they also have antioxidants and different substances that help our body to absorb that substance, different substances and nutrients better, and also preventing those, for example, fragile oil. Omega-6s are very, very reactive and unstable. So when they're in seeds, in sunflower seeds, instead of in clear, transparent bottle, they are much more stable and not pro-inflammatory in a bad way. So just 30 grams, so 1 ounce of sunflower seeds is 70% of omega-6s. But again, we will need to convert that into the form that our body actually needs. And that conversion rate might be affected by a lot of factors, as we just mentioned, as we just talked about. Also, guys, people who are growing, nursing women, providing omega-6s for their kids, pregnant women, bodybuilders, teenagers, kids seem to need more of omega-6s. And the animal form of omega-6s we can get in as little as 2 eggs. Of course, the yolk contains all the arachidonic acid, the omega-6 that is animal form that we actually need, or 100 grams of liver. So if you're someone like me who eats a lot of liver, let's say once a week, and then have some eggs over the course of the week, then you are getting all of the animal form of omega-6 fatty acids, guys. So liver, maybe if you eat like 300 grams of liver once a week, and then maybe another 6 eggs, and maybe then, some form of omega-6, like maybe some sunflower seeds here and there, or also other nuts like peanuts, for example. In 1 ounce of peanuts, also peanut butter, of course, would have omega-6s. So 1 ounce of peanuts would have about 40% of plant omega-6 per day, of course. Also peanut butter would probably have more of that, because in peanut butter, peanuts were refined, and a lot of fiber might be either removed or processed in a way that allows us to extract more of omega-6s, and different nuts would have more or less of omega-6 usually. But as we just said, that conversion might be hurt by not having enough B vitamins, biotin, and B6 specifically, that we also need for other functions. So we might not have enough. Also, a lot of sugar, a lot of processed foods, other bad oils, or what else? Too little calories, protein, or carbohydrates might hurt the conversion rate. And what else, guys, about omega-6s, besides the fact that we really need them for so many things? to keep our skin healthy, to prevent our bodies, our immune system to react to totally harmless and nutritious and delicious foods, to keep our inflammation on and off when needed. That is very, very important, to decrease anxiety and increase confidence. So many people are struggling with that these days, itchy skin, hair falling out, dandruff, all of that can be caused, and of course, inability for our body to create energy efficiently. All of that can be caused by the lack of omega-6s, or either inability of our body to convert the plant version into the animal version that we actually need. And when it comes to foods, guys, I recommend you to also anti-inflammatory drugs, substances, or too much fish oil will also cause the rate of conversion to go down, or to might even prevent the conversion of those plant omega-6 fatty acids into the animal form. So if you are taking some anti-inflammatory drugs, or if you are taking a lot of different anti-inflammatory substances, even like too much turmeric or fish oil might hurt that also might cause. And then on top of that, if you aren't eating any liver, eggs, or some other foods with like pork chops also would have some arachidonic acid. If you aren't eating those foods, then you might not be getting all of this omega-6s. So guys, I highly recommend you, if you do eat liver and eggs, keep eating them, not rely on the plant sources. If you are someone who is more on a plant-based diet, then for sure do not consume in a lot of anti-inflammatories. Make sure that your B vitamins are sufficient. Maybe even supplement with some. Especially if you are on a plant-based diet and you aren't supplementing, you are probably not getting enough of those B vitamins, and that already is hurting your conversion rate of those essential fatty acids that are also involved in, again, keeping your stomach lining intact, creating energy, helping your cell membranes to stay fluid and collaborate with each other. So many things omega-6s, do in our body in the appropriate form. A lot of times I would work with people who want to be on more of a plant-based diet, not necessarily 100%, or who are already vegans, and they like, yeah, but I'm eating, all this sunflower oil or flaxseed oil, or seeds and nuts that have plenty of like omega-6s and omega-3s, but they forget about the fact that in order for those fatty acids to be converted in the form that we actually need, the case with omega-6, we actually do need B vitamins that are mostly in animal products. How funny is that? Like, you might be eating all of these nutrients, but you might be losing all of them because you aren't eating B vitamins that are mostly in animal foods. So at least you can do, and it's a workable solution, you can take some B vitamins, especially for the conversion of omega-6 fatty acids. Biotin and B6 are the crucial elements in that conversion reaction. So that's it for today, guys. So we talked about those essential fatty acids, omega-6s and omega-3s. So we need both of them to function properly. And there is a theory that we need to consume the same amount, 1-to-1. So let's say if you are getting omega-6s in any form that we need to get, like 1 gram, and then we need 1 gram of omega-3s. But then on the other side, it's hard to say for every individual, like of which form and how much of each form we need. Like we talked a lot about omega-3 fatty acids yesterday, right? But with omega-6s, it's a little bit more complicated. If you are eating only plant version of omega-6s, do you have enough to convert that into the amount that is about 133 milligrams of the arachidonic acid, the omega-6 that we actually need in our body? Like, are you making enough converting one into another. Nobody can tell you that. And the only thing you can notice that maybe your skin is, itchy, scaly, or just dry. Maybe you're losing too much weight too fast, and you are unable to put a weight on. That also, like the deficiency of omega-6s can cause that. Maybe you do have dandruff, or maybe your hair is falling out. So that may be one of the reasons. In your body, it's hard to say what exactly the reason is, because there can be so many other reasons. So like you might be deficient in B vitamins, and that's why you are unable to convert one fatty acid into another, and that's why your hair is falling out, but that also might be for other reasons, like not enough zinc or iron. So anyhow, guys, nutrition is complicated, and the best way for you to make sure that you are having optimal life experience, having optimal levels of health, is try to do your best to use current knowledge available to practice the best possible nutrition. And when it comes to omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids, so let's sum up both. We talked about omega-3 fatty acids yesterday, marine and plant. So maybe eat a handful of walnuts a day, and maybe have a bigger meal of salmon once a week, right? All of the omega-3s will be covered with that eating pattern. And then for omega-6s, eat some, sunflower seeds and peanut butter, if you love those, but also maybe make one big liver meal a week and have a couple of eggs here and there, and that will solve all their omega-6 mystery. Those foods are also delicious and so nutritious. Yesterday, I just had a craving for eggs, so I made an omelette with 4 eggs. What else was there? And I had some canned chicken. I love canned chicken because there you can chew all the bones with all the calcium and all the other good stuff, like collagen in those tendons and connecting tissue that you all can chew. Anyhow, that was a delicious meal, and maybe I was too missing some omega-6 fatty acids, and that's why I was craving my eggs, and I had the best night's sleep after that. So that was a great solution. Anyhow, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Eat some eggs, liver for that arachidonic omega-6 fatty acid. Maybe don't take so much anti-inflammatory stuff, because that can cause you also, if you are taking a lot of anti-inflammatory stuff, that can also hurt the activation of omega-6 fatty acids. So even if you're eating that animal form, it has to be activated. And if you are taking a lot of anti-inflammatory, that activation process is not going to happen. So look into that too if you are having those symptoms that we're talking about. Maybe your immune system is too reactive to everything. Maybe that's why you have all your food sensitivities, right? So look into that if you're having any of those problems. Also, you can reach out, ask any question. I can look at your food diary, at your daily meal planning. I can look into your health situation and give you my best advice. So feel free to reach out. The help is out there, and you can fix a lot of things. Anyhow, guys, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to share this episode with another person to discuss the details that you heard on this podcast, to, maybe figure out things together that might not be working for you and for that other person. Together we learn better, we remember better, we practice better. So share this episode with at least one another person. Have a wonderful weekend. Eat some omega-6s. So eat some eggs, eat some liver. And guys, I'll see you Monday. Until that time, eat better daily.